relation expert, Bapak Teuku Rezasyah, to discuss the Trump's inaugurations. So, Pak Reza, to continue our discussion here, I would like to ask you about the U.S. relation to Indonesia, especially with Donald Trump's and Prabowo Subianto era right now. What do you think about it?
I recall their telephone, about sometime in November, and they click very well, even though I don't know if they had met earlier on, and then Trump was surprised knowing that Prabowo had an advanced knowledge of America, speak English at the native speaker level, and Prabowo said, I was trained in your country most of the time during my service. Well, actually, they could, Trump is older a bit than Prabowo, 5 years, 4 months, and 3 days older than Prabowo. And then both of them has the same philosophy. Both of them are visionary leaders. And then when they make decision based on research, and both of them wanted to tackle the issue themselves. So this is the the similarities between the two, and they won in a massive winning in their past election, and then I think they could become friends. And usually when leaders become friends, issues are being settled easier. In the past, we saw Pak Harto had an excellent relation with Paul Keating, and then also earlier on, President Kennedy had a good relations with Bung Karno at the time, 1960s, but unluckily, the two of them had to step down, And then, in my opinion, when leaders have a good rapport, and then we have enough lobbies in the United States of America, and we treat American companies inside Indonesia, mining companies, and then banking institutions and financial institutions based on their principles and also our principle called good governance, good corporate governance, and then rule of law, and then our people are being served, being nurtured under meritocracy. I think American could better understand Indonesia, that we are becoming more democratic, But this could become a way to hamper American threat towards BRICS, Because at the moment, American is very critical. They're beginning to see that BRICS will become an institution, a pool of powers to challenge their G7. I think Indonesia should communicate better with Trump that you are very lucky to have us inside BRICS, because we could be the one who stop BRICS from becoming a harsh institutions and put you at the corner. I think a greater communication is needed between our two leaders.
Yeah, and I think Indonesia has always been, that country that everyone wants to be friends. I mean, if we're in a playground, everybody wants to be friends with Indonesia. We are somewhat like the middleman, actually the peacemaker and the unifier of all nations in the world. But let's talk about the big guys also in the playground. Let's talk about United States and also China that we mentioned before. We know that there has always been tension, especially when Donald Trump was president with President Xi Jinping. But now, during his inauguration, TikTok, after 24 hours ban, it's back on again. And even the CEO is sitting front and center during his inauguration. And also a rare move by China, where the Chinese Vice President Han Zheng came there to attend, sent by President Xi Jinping. What is this what showcase between America and China trying to portray to the world? And what about the tension between trade and security between the two nations?
Tension is there, I think they represent two scorpions in one aquarium, and the slight movement of one will affect the other. So this is the analogy for the US-China relations, And Trump has been very critical towards China even before he came to power. Sometime during the Obama period, he mentioned China, they have eaten our lunch, and then we owe a lot to China, and today it's reaching more than $500 billion. And recently, Americans say that we are making ourselves a manufacturing country. It means America will have to recognize its potentials. In every state, the potential in terms of man, money, materials, method, machineries, and market, and then the comparative advantages and competitive advantages of American states vis-a-vis inside and also towards the rest of the world. I think would be a great challenge for America to make itself a manufacturing country and also to make itself more competitive with regard to China. When Donald Trump talked, I was surprised when he identified that part of the problem was that the incapacity of the earlier government to pick up the right negotiator team. So, but at the moment, we are beginning also to see that while in the past he talked about meritocracy, he has also a problem with his Minister of Defense, who had no knowledge on ASEAN, and also his Chief Bureau for Environment, who do not have background knowledge in environment. So I think he needs to fix his bureaucracy first before facing China head-to-head. Because China negotiator team is excellent, and then they have excellent data, and then also Trump's beginning to be worried about China. Recently, Trump said to provide greater taxes towards China, but at the same time, Trump also has identified that a lot of Chinese EV are being produced in Mexico at the American borders. So he will provide more tax against China, and I do not know how China will react. And then he has also mentioned that he's ready to face the trade war, and I do not know what will he do. Well, in the past, the U.S. administration has been encouraging American companies residing in China, EU companies residing in China to leave China, and at the same time, China is trying to keep them in providing better facilities. So I do not know what will happen, and where will these companies go? Will they go back to their country of origin, or go back to America, to Europe, or they will find a third country, a neutral country? I sincerely hope Indonesia could accept more investment.
Yes.
And because we need investment at the moment.
But Reza, it's very ironic though, because Tesla has a mega factory in China.
Yeah.
They just launched their Tesla's manufacturer products in China when Elon Musk is actually the closest to Donald Trump in regards to that. So there's a lot of, not only supports that he needs, but he needs to make all these businessmen believe that you need to bring everything back again to America.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually, I can see like a different approach in terms of collaboration or foreign policy, because we have two highlights topic for the global situation right now, the global conflict, and of course, the trade wars between US and China. So when he said about put the America first or make America great again, in his inaugural speech, so how do you interpret his this message, and what does it mean to US relations with other countries and also international organizations?
Well, when it comes to make America great again, he means the domestic. He means that the U.S. should manage its domestic affairs in a much more accountable way, based on meritocracy and then based on education and science and technology. And also, domestic is very important. And at the same time, America wants to be acknowledged that it has a leadership role and it has a capacity to unify. So in this case, we will see unexpected things from America, even though we do not know does he really mean that. So because the burden of America as a superpower is so high, he needs to pay attention on the world's political security affairs, and then the cost of the satellite is so high, the cost of public diplomacy is so high, and the cost of maintaining alliance is so high. And in the current financial difficulties, I'm not so sure what he's going to do. But at least he has shown himself that America is ready to win again, and then to be better respected by the world. So in this case, we can expect to hear more statements. But at the same time, we need to ask, please identify your statements. When he may say burden sharing. He may say further collaboration. He may say better human rights. He may say better transparency. He may say end of conflict. But at the same time, he needs to show that today, all of you are dealing with America, not as the part of the problem. America will become the part of the solution. But the first test is at the UN. How will he use his veto card?
Yeah.
Will he listen to others?
Right, so there's a lot of homework that needs to be done by Donald J. Trump and also the administration. As he said, he is the peacemaker and unifier. And also, as he add on that the golden age of America has finally come to this day for America and also for the world. We'll see if that is going to happen in real life or not. Bapak Teuku Rezasyah, thank you very much for being here with us in our program. As the Padjajaran University International Relations expert, you're always welcome, and it's such a great pleasure to have you right here as we discuss Donald J. Trump, the 47th President of the United States, as he becomes the POTUS for the nation and for his inauguration, what his sets and his administration will do that will involve us as the world. Thank you very much once again,
thank you, Bapak.
Reza.
I'm honored, thank you.
And we're now, folks, ready for another commercial break, but when we return, we'll bring you more of the world headlines right here on the C Morning Show, only on C Today. We'll be right back.